So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden programming that's running our lives, the code that dictates our self-control. We're going to figure out why you might be holding yourself back without even knowing it.
And I want to start by asking you a question. Just let this sink in for a second. What if the strongest chains holding you back are completely invisible?
To really get this, I want you to picture something. Imagine a huge, powerful, full-grown elephant, a creature that could uproot a tree, right? And it's being held in place by a thin little rope tied to its leg. A rope it could snap in a heartbeat.
So, why doesn't it? Why doesn't it just walk away? Well, the reason is as simple as it is heartbreaking. When that elephant was just a baby, that same rope was strong enough to hold it. It tried, and it failed, over and over, until it learned a lesson. I can't escape. It was programmed.
And that's the thing, right? We all have these invisible ropes, these limiting beliefs we learned years ago that we've just accepted as truth. So today, we're not just going to talk about them. We're going to give you the blueprint for finally breaking them.
All right, so where do we even begin? We start with the control panel in your own mind, that inner voice, because your thoughts, well, they literally become your reality.
Think for a moment about that little voice in your head, the one that's constantly chattering away. Now look at this number, 80%.
So what on earth is that about? A university study way back in 1983 found something pretty shocking. About 80% of the things we say to ourselves are negative. They're actively working against us. And this isn't just about feeling bad. This kind of negativity is directly tied to some serious health problems, like high blood pressure and even heart attacks.
So, how do we flip the script? Well, check this out. The source material talks about different levels of self-talk. Level 1 is that inner fear. It sounds like, I can't lose weight. I've tried so many times and I just fail. It's a total dead end. But then you have level 3, positive acceptance, and that completely rewrites the story. I can lose weight. I am a successful individual. See the difference? One reinforces the rope, the other starts to fray it.
And this just perfectly sums up the domino effect, doesn't it? Watch your thoughts. They become words. Watch your words. They become actions. It becomes your destiny. But that begs the question, what's pushing that first domino? What's fueling those thoughts to begin with? Let's go a layer deeper.
And that right there brings us to the next layer, the beliefs that bind you. This is the silent code, the operating system that runs underneath all of our thoughts.
To really grasp just how powerful our beliefs are, let's look at a pretty strange question from the book. Can a dead body bleed?
You see, there's this story about a man whose entire life hinged on this question. He was absolutely convinced that he was a dead body. So a doctor, trying to prove him wrong, pricked him with a needle. And of course, he started to bleed. But he didn't see that as proof that he was alive. No, he just exclaimed, "Wow, I guess dead bodies do bleed." His belief was so strong, it literally overwrote reality. And the point here is absolutely crucial. What we believe to be true becomes our reality. Look at this example with smoking. On the left, you've got this limiting belief system. Cigarettes mean relaxation, quitting is impossible, it'll just make me gain weight. But look what happens when you flip that belief on its head. Suddenly, cigarettes mean pain and death. The cause and effect is crystal clear. If I smoke, then I will die. And the future is set. I will not smoke again. Same exact action, completely different reality.
Okay, so we've got thoughts, and we've got the beliefs that fuel them. Now let's connect that to what you actually do, because how you see the world is ultimately what determines your actions in it. There's this fantastic story about 3 masons, all doing the exact same job. When someone asks them what they're doing, the first guy, who's just miserable, says, I'm hammering this stupid rock. The second one says, I'm building a wall. But the third guy, he's got a spark in his eye, and he says, I am building a cathedral. Same job, same rock, 3 totally different perceptions.
You know, a lot of the time, our perceptions and our actions aren't even our own. They're inherited, like the story of the woman who always cooked fish by cutting off the head and the tail. One day her husband asks her why. She says, I don't know, that's just how my mother always did it. So she calls her mom. And her mom just laughs and says, oh, honey, there's no secret recipe. My pot was just too small for the whole fish. We just do things without ever asking why.
So we've looked at all the different pieces, the thoughts, the beliefs, the perceptions. Now let's put them all together. This is the self-control blueprint, your guide to rewriting your own code. This is it. This is the entire system laid out, your life's chain reaction. It all starts with your self-talk, those inner thoughts. Over time, those thoughts harden into your core beliefs. Your beliefs then act like a filter, shaping your perception of everything around you.
That perception triggers your emotions. And finally, your emotions drive your behavior. It's a straight line from a tiny whisper in your head to a real-world action. Understanding this chain is everything.
And when you understand that chain, it leads to a pretty radical idea, a total shift in how we think about self-control. It is not about having more willpower.
It's about smarter wiring. It's not about gritting your teeth and fighting yourself every single day. It's about going back to the source code, your thoughts and your beliefs, and reprogramming the entire system from the inside out. So, as we wrap this up, let's bring it all back home. Back to that elephant. I'll leave you with one final, powerful question to think about. What's the one rope in your life that you'll decide to test today?